So right now we are going to look at this question, and this is actually from 2021 Catholic High SA2. Let's talk about the first one. Mr. Lee. Okay, Mr. Lee is probably, I don't know, an interior designer or something like that. And he decided to design the square floor with as many rectangular tiles of the same size. I think that is a very important information to note. If it's of the same size, we don't have to worry that the measurements are different. That means to say, we can actually group them up already. Because it is of the same size. That means, in another sense, Mr. Lee is trying to tell us that it is equal. Can you understand?
Yeah.
Now, and he wants to make it, or in fact, put as many as possible. Okay, the tiles are either white or gray. Okay, I know in this situation or on your worksheet you will see that it's black. Okay, but yeah, just take it as it's gray. Okay. Now, let's solve A first, which is something that most can do. A says, what is the greatest possible number of tiles that Mr. Lee can use to cover the floor? Now, if you're wondering, why is it greatest possible? Because it will not fit exactly. There will be some that is like, you know, not of the pattern. There will be some that is not of the pattern, so it will not fit exactly. Now, if I can just bring you back to this topic that I talk about in volume, under this concept called cutouts, it is basically the same idea. Can you understand, Nathan?
Yeah.
I say that again. This, I know this is under area and perimeter, but if you were to view it from the volume cutout lens, okay, lens as in LENS, then you will realize that all you need to do is to find how many, I say that again, how many tiles can I fit on the breadth?
Yeah.
Or in fact, because this is a square floor, it means that it is the length. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So you cannot do area of the rectangular divided by the area of the tiles.
Yeah.
I apologize one more time. You cannot do area of the square floor divided by area of the tiles. You cannot do that. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go part by part. Okay, I'm going to find the length first.
Okay.
Now, how many tiles can I fit on the length? Well, you can see that the length is 460, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, I'm gonna color code it. Okay, let me just highlight it in green, and I'm gonna use green color to write also, so that you all can just trace and just do it together with me. Now for the length itself, okay, I've highlighted in green, so you just follow, okay, color code this. How many tiles can I fit? I will be able to fit 460 divided by 30. But I cannot fit perfectly. You agree or disagree? I apologize. It should be 15. Now, if you're wondering why 15, right? Because when I look at the pattern, you realize that it's 30, then 15, then 15, then 30, then 15. Then I might as well just break everything up into 15.
Yeah.
Can you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, I say that again. Why did I not divide by 30? Because I realized that everything is actually 15, then 15, then 15, then 15. You follow my cursor? 15, then 15, then 15, then 15, then 15 again, then 15, then 15, then 15, then 15. So I'm going to count how many 15s are there.
Yeah.
So when I do that, I will do 460 divided by 15. Now, I think more importantly, right, is that whenever you do questions like that, you all need to know that you all need to put the units. Because if you don't put units, you don't know what exactly are you finding. You see, if I just put 460 divided by 15, a lot of you will probably think that it's 30 cm, but it's not. 460 cm divided by 15 cm, you get to 30 remainder 10. And this 30 remainder 10 is basically 30 house. Am I making sense?
Yes.
That means to say, you only have 30 tiles from here all the way down to here. Make sense?
Yeah. Makes sense.
And then of course we want to do the same thing, right? For the other side. Okay, let me just use another color. Maybe I'll just use blue color right now, light blue, to highlight this part. Okay. So I'll use a blue color to write instead. So that is, well, you can call it breadth or whatever you want to call it. The other length also can, but I'm just going to call it breadth for simplicity's sake. I will do 460 divided by 30 right now instead of 15. Why? Because when I do horizontally, you realize that it's always 30, then 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 30. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Can you understand?
Understand.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna erase this. So in that case, I will get to an answer of 15 remainder 10. Of course, because the question asks for greatest, right? So you cannot go and round up, ma. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what you want to do is, of course, to round down, lah. So you round down to 15 tiles. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, once I'm done with this, you see what I have done so far, right? Really is to find, I apologize, to find the sides only. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Right. Just a gentle reminder again, this approach is very similar to how I would approach a cutout question under volume, right? Whereby I look at the length, I look at I look at the base area, I look at the height, right? The length, the breadth, and the height. Am I making sense?
Yes.
But in this situation, because it is a square floor, it is not 3D, it is not talking about the volume, I don't have the height.
Yeah.
So what do I want to do next? I mean, now that I'm done with these two, do I just leave it like that? Do I add? Do I multiply? Because they want us to because they want us to find the greatest, right? So the greatest in this situation, I have to multiply so that I will be able to find everything. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And I purposefully stopped here because you see, actually it's not everything. There will be some gaps over here that we have to remember. Can you see that there are some gaps over here?
Yeah.
All right, and these are gaps, right, that cannot be filled. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Okay, so this part is basically not filled. The parts that is outside the dotted lines. Which one am I referring to? I'm just going to X all of these parts. Make sense?
Yeah.
And this is just an estimation. Okay, any
Yeah.
questions so far?
No questions so far.
Okay, so all of these are cannot be placed with a tile, okay? So what I want to do is, okay, let me see. Okay, what I want to do now is basically just 30 times 15. All right, so I will be able to find everything that is inside here. Can see? Okay, but I don't need you to do that. Okay, I don't need you to go and scribble that. And then from here itself, you get to 450 tiles. Okay, so therefore, this is your answer for part A. Okay, now we are going to use the answer that we have in part A. Okay, since I already know that the answer we have in part A is 450, right? Then of course the second part or the next thing we want to do is to find out how many of the tiles are gray tiles. I think before I even go on to that, right? Okay, I need to remind you that there is actually a pattern that Mr. Lee is trying to achieve. Again, he is an interior designer, you know? So to them, it's like, okay, I want to be artistic. I need to make sure that there is a pattern. It cannot be random. Okay, but to be honest, random can also be a pattern. Okay, but this guy wants it to be in this particular manner. See for yourself. White, black, then I don't know why he decided to turn it to white black again, but horizontally, and then vertically white black, and then horizontally, then go on, and then that pattern repeats itself. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So it depends on how you see it, okay? But I saw it in this manner. Let me just use a bright color, okay? So if you all have any markers, you can just do it together with me. Now, I'm going to erase this part. I'm going to erase all of this highlighted part. I just want you to fix your eyes on this pattern that I have identified. Now, what do you see in this pattern? You can see that it is white, black. Let's talk about the top row only, okay? Let's say if I were to cut it across, I cut it like that, okay, into like a window-looking shape. You realize that it is white, black, then I go downwards, black, black, and then black, white. Am I making sense?
Yes.
And then the pattern repeats itself again. So, right, your job now is to find out how many of these windows do we have. I say that again, your job now is to find out how many of these windows do we have on this square floor. And then from there, right, go and find how many grays do we have in each of the window. Then you go and multiply. Okay, this is a mouthful. Let's get to work. Can?
Yeah.
In one set, okay, one set is in one window, okay? It is 60 cm. Why I say 60 cm? Do you know why?
Yeah, because like 30 plus 30.
Yeah, right, because I'm looking at one window already. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How many? Okay, then I don't even. Okay, yeah, I can do this first. How many sets will I be able to achieve? It is if it is 460 cm. All of you should know, right? Number of sets will then be 460 cm divided by 60 cm. When I do cm divided by cm, my answer definitely has to be the other unit, which is not cm lah.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's house.
House, oh? Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So I get 7 sets of tiles lah. Or 7 sets of windows in that in this situation.
Yeah.
Right? But when I do 60 times 7, I only get 420. That means there's a remainder 40 lah.
Yeah.
Can? Which I don't want to care. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So that is only what? One of the length.
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So I am going to once again apply the same thing, right? This is only one of the length, right? I'm going to find the other side, right? So basically it's 7, 7, 7. So I'm going to basically do the area, right? To find the total sets. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so in this situation, the total sets has to be 7 times. Why 7 times 7? Because the 40 you can ignore already.
Yeah.
Goes to 49 sets of this window-looking shape.
So
now, I'm going to number the tiles in the window. Okay? I'm going to number the tiles in the window. What do I mean by number the tiles in the window? And why am I doing that? Okay, let me explain. I'm going to number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to change the other one, 7, 8. Now, why am I numbering the last two a little differently? Because I realized that 7 and 8 is a little different from the rest.
yes.
True?
Yeah.
So in these 49 sets, right, what I have will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, but because 7 and 8 is a little different, I want to remove away that 7 and 8. Okay? I want to remove away that. It's always better to remove the odd one out.
Yeah.
So you see, in one window or one set, how many 7, 8 do I have? Okay, let me use blue color for this part, okay? One set, this is 7, 8. How many 7, 8 do I have? I will have 2 what? Correct now?
Yeah.
Which is what we call 2 gray in this situation. True?
Yeah.
And since I have 49 sets of the window-looking shape, that means I will see 7 and 8 how many times?
7, 8.
2 times 49. Yeah, we will see 98 gray. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
And I want to remove this so that okay, you will understand you will understand very soon why am I doing that. Because I don't want the 7 and 8 to kind of get in the way.
Yeah.
I always remove the extra. Okay, if I can connect this to a concept that we have learned, it's actually a very simple concept that we have learned back in maybe say P4, P5, whereby whenever we see things like, for example, I say boy A's height, okay, boy A and boy B's height, let's say, for example, boy A is, I don't know, 120 centimeters taller than, okay, it doesn't make sense to be 100 centimeters taller, 20 cm taller than boy B, So what do we, okay, the total is say 360 cm. In order for me to find A and B, we remove away 20 first, ma.
Yeah.
Right, this 20 is what I call I remove my extra. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
When I do that, right, I can find what is this 2 already. Agree?
Yeah.
So in this situation, one window will have something like this, right? And then there's this extra thing that I'm trying to remove, which is the gray.
Okay.
The 2 gray that was stuck together.
Yeah.
So when I remove that part, right? When the moment I remove this part, I can find this 2.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you realize, I come back to here, you realize it's all in pairs. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, right?
Yeah.
So that means to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 tiles in total, right?
Yeah.
That means I must have 3 gray and 3 white.
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yeah.
I must have an equal amount, equal number. Can?
Yeah.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this to remove the odd tiles. Or in fact, we call this the 2 odd tiles. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
How do I remove the 2 odd tiles? Remember just now we learned from B that our answer is 450, right?
Yeah.
So in this 450, I will remove away the 98 odd tiles. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, and I will get to an answer of 352. What is this 352? This 352 is 352 white and gray.
Yeah.
Okay, and this 352 white and gray, I'm referring to the red color one. So what I'm going to do, instead of using it in blue, I purposely write it in red so that you can see 352 white and gray. And this 352 white and gray consists of 1 tile, 2, tile number 1, tile number 2, tile number 3, tile number 4, tile number 5, and tile number 6. Am I making sense here?
Yeah.
So, you tell me, isn't it true that in order for me to find 2, 3, and 6, why 2, 3, and 6? Because 2, 3, and 6 are all gray color, right?
Yeah.
I will simply just have to do 352. Maybe I'll just use red color again. 352 divided by 2. That means I have 176 gray. Am I making sense?
Then you need to take 176 plus 98.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, because the question asks us for the total gray tiles. Am I making sense here?
Yeah.
When I do 176 plus 98, I will therefore get to an answer of 274 gray tiles. And therefore, this is my answer for this question. Hi everyone, if you like this video, you can click right here for a similar video, or you can view our playlist here.